Tonight, we present the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series with 5 divisions of competition, including the first of our Triple Crown events for the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models, the Steel City 100. We will move right into our feature racing program this evening, but first, for our opening ceremonies, we ask that each and every one of you please rise up from your seats, and gentlemen, remove your caps. If you are moving around the Speedway grounds, we ask that you pause momentarily with us for an invocation delivered by our track photographer Howie Bayless and the singing of our national anthem by Melissa Grimm. Helping us here this evening with opening ceremonies on the front straight to present the colors, we welcome all of the members of Pack 405 from South Greensburg, Pennsylvania. And now for our invocation, Howie Bayless.
Dear Lord, as we gather here tonight for a night of enjoyment, please keep your eyes on the drivers, the pit crews, and track officials. Racing is a very dangerous sport. We're here for a night of enjoyment. Please make sure everybody stays safe and has a great week. And please keep your eye on all the troops defending our great country. Amen.
Please remain standing for the national anthem as performed by Melissa Grimm.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
05, Paul Koffler Jr., 46, Sean Rich, 47, Mark Tringes Jr., 38, June Mihalik, 23, Eugene Zerfoss, 31, points leader, Bill Schwartz. As we are green and racing, 14 is Caveman Kevin Keffer, 04 is Andrew Dukavich, and there's a battle for the lead among the rookies. Dakota Stambaugh in the 9 is directly to the outside of the 62 of Dale Grubbs, another rookie. Grubbs has won a heat race. And now in the 3rd spot, it's 2 veterans, Christopher Knight and the 05 of Paul Koffler Jr. Koffler has been a feature winner in 2010. Knight runs about half the events here at the Motordrome Speedway, sharing the driving chores with his sister. And we're 3 wide out of turn 4. There's Koffler on the inside, Stambaugh in the middle, Knight on the outside, while rookie Grubbs continues to lead this event. Battle for 3rd, 78 of Knight taking a position from the 9 of Stambaugh. Well, maybe not quite. Stambaugh battles back on the outside. Lap feature for the Super Compacts. Hey, we're 3 wide going into turn 1. That's last week's winner, Zerfoss, on the bottom. Tringes Jr. and Dudkowitz are there. Both of those drivers have been to victory lane in 2010. And we got a lead change up front. Paul Koffler Jr. in the 05 looking for his 2nd win of the season. Storms past the rookie Grubbs in 62. Here comes Christopher Knight in the 78. Last week, that car went to a heat race victory with Jessica Knight at the wheel. Crystal Aller in the 19 car goes a lap down, and she's got Eugene Zerfoss closing in quickly on her. Oh, there's some contact there with the 48 of Koffler, the 3rd. Everybody everybody gets by, and there are 5 of 15 laps completed. Once again, no heat races this evening. A features-only racing program, and the Coca-Cola Super Compacts kick it off. Andrew Dukavich in the 04 dives to the inside of Grubbs. Dukavich, a regular on the dirt at Farmington, but a rookie to the Motordrome pavement, and he's already been to victory lane. It's now Koffler Jr. driving the car typically steered by Koffler Sr., leading the way over Christopher Knight and the 04 of Dukavich, the 62 of Grubbs, the 23 of Eugene Zerfoss now pulling up inside of the top 5 after winning last Friday night. That popular veteran scored a big win for the first time in 2 years last Friday. Now Bill Schwartz, the current points leader in car 31, comes to life. He moves around Koffler, the 3rd in the 48. That gets him up into the 6th spot. Crossed flags indicate halfway. And a couple of lap cars now in front of the leader as Koffler heads down the front straight. The lap cars were too wide briefly, and that'll force Koffler all the way to the top. And Dukavich nearly spins the 04 car from 3rd position, trying to keep pace with Knight and leader Koffler. Now they move around the Simsek 22 car. Simsek goes a lap down, but Knight eager for a career first win. He is gaining ground on the many-time Farmington champion, Paul Koffler Jr. Koffler's only win of 2010 here at Motordrome came at the wheel of a Cody Quarrick racing entry. And now Koffler using his father's car instead of his usual 05, leading Knight. And we got a caution flag on the speedway. Caution flag is out. Debris on the speedway after the Mike George car got into the outside retaining wall. Debris on the speedway, the reason for this caution flag. So we will bring the racing action to a halt with 10 of 15 laps completed. Koffler's and feature winner this season, just like the leader. Green flag is back out. Eugene Zerfoss started deep in this field after last week's win. He has climbed to 4th in car 23. Points leader Bill Schwartz is 5th, and we got a challenge for 2nd. Dukavich in the 04, going side by side with Knight. Now here comes Zerfoss. Knight will lose the 2nd spot, maybe even 3rd, and we got a spin. In turn 3, Dale Grubbs gets some help. He goes around and collects Koffler. Koffler straightens out the 48 car, but we're gonna need another caution. 2010. So with 5 laps still to go, the green flag waves. Paul Koffler Jr. leads Christopher Knight, Andrew Dukavich, Eugene Zerfoss, and Bill Schwartz. Exactly what Christopher Knight needed was that caution flag. We did not score an official lap, so we went back in time, and it was like the Dukavich pass never existed. However, here at the drop of the green once again, Andrew Dukavich does take the 2nd spot again, and this time it will be made official at the scoring line. 3 cars battling for 3rd. It's Zerfoss in the 23, Knight the 78, and points leader Schwartz in 31. Schwartz and Zerfoss 1 and 2 in the championship chase. Now 3rd and 5th on the racetrack. Knight makes a great save after some light contact from Schwartz in turn 3. All of this action has allowed the 05 of Koffler Jr. to pull away to his biggest lead of the event with just 3 laps to go. Best battle is for 4, Schwartz and Knight. After Knight was challenging for victory just a few laps ago, he's now all the way back into the 4th position as there are 2 laps remaining. The signal given to Paul Koffler Jr. Oh, we've got a flip on the front straight. Rookie Mike George goes over several times. Didn't see that incident start, but Mike George is unbuckling from the race car. High in the air went the Mike George Ford, number 25, and this rookie driver will be immediately introduced to our safety crew. The good news, he was moving around inside the car and trying to unbuckle himself. June Mihalik, a heat race winner last week in car 38, also involved in the incident. He's out of the race car. Mike George climbing from car 25. He is okay, taking the helmet off. Great news here on the front straight, thanks to the Smithton Volunteer Fire Company and Ross Draver Ambulance. He's in third. Points leader Bill Schwartz is fourth. Green flag is out. 2 laps to settle it. A lead of about 2 car lengths. Keep in mind, these drivers are close friends off the racetrack, and they are about to make contact in turn 3, fighting for the win. Carrying him all the way up the speedway is Dukavich at the wave of the white flag. When Koffler and Dukavich each won earlier this season, their respective teams joined in the victory lane celebrations. Now they nearly take each other out on the final lap. Zerfoss is up into second spot. And coming out of turn 4 after a bold move 1 lap earlier, a second career win at Motordrome for Andrew Dukavich over Eugene Zerfoss, Paul Koffler Jr., Bill Schwartz, and Christopher Knight. Let's talk about that last lap. That's where the whole race came to you. Real good friends off the track, you and the Kofflers. Is that true?
Yes.
Still good friends now. I know you guys have raced on dirt for a long time. You've had to have battles like that before.
Oh, yeah, we've run side by side laps at a time and never touched. It comes down to the end. It's just got to go. Someone's got to make the move.
Now let's talk about your conversion from dirt to pavement. Did you expect to be a multiple feature winner this early in your learning curve?
No, not at all.
And how about a chance to thank all the sponsors and crew?
Frank D's Used Auto, W.L. Byers Trucking, and thanks again to the Kofflers for helping me get here, get tires changed, whatever I had to do.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. A bold move on the last lap provides victory number 2 for Andrew Dukavich. 15 laps the distance for the Pro Auto Supply Service Chargers. Green flag is out. John Scott leading Bob Garchak and Chris Spadacine as they quickly go single file in turn 1. Here comes Ron Eifert III. Feature winner just a couple of weeks back. He's won twice in this division and he's won in the Coca-Cola Super Compacts. He is challenging for second, takes that away from Garchak, and now pulls even with the 71 of Scott. New leader is Ron Eifert III over Denny Keller. 71 John Scott now feeling the pressure of the 14 of Zane Farrell, who started deep in this field. Points leader is now up to third spot. Ron Eifert III, the race leader. Denny Keller in second. Zane Farrell in third. 3 drivers who have recently been to victory lane running away from the rest of this field. Now the battle is for 4th spot. Ed McConnell, last week's winner, dives beneath the 71 of Scott and takes that position away. McConnell's first win was a dominating performance last week, and this his backup car after his primary ride was destroyed a couple of weeks earlier. Top 3 drivers running away from this field on lap 5 of 15. It looks looks like the top three will be battling among themselves shortly, but they have put a half a straightaway on the remainder of the competitors in the Pro Auto Supply Service Chargers. Ron Eifert the third, the race leader. Denny Keller second, Zane Farrell third. Leader Eifert, a graduate of the Super Compact division. 13 of Keller, a longtime veteran racer in this division. The 14 of Farrell, just moved out of the go-kart ranks as a rookie last year and won multiple features in 2009. It does appear that Denny Keller in 13 is gaining on Eifert. Eifert seems to be very strong in turn 3, but now drifts up in turn 4. The race leader makes a miscue. Halfway signal, crossed flags at the starter stand. Ron Eifert really gained some ground into turn 3, then lost it all in turn 4. Now the race leaders will approach the 51 of division rookie Mary Catherine Shimko. Trying to look to the outside of Denny Keller. The challenge for second spot, three very equal race cars. Farrell each lap very close to making contact with the outside retaining wall. Eifert that time a little bit loose out of turn 4. And Keller has his best run into turn 1 on the race leader so far with 5 laps to go. Just as I say that Keller made challenge, it was Farrell looking beneath Keller that time for second spot in turn 2. Eifert is absolutely outstanding in turn 3, and then has to fight to gather the car back up in turn 4 each lap. Chad Goring now going a lap down in the 00 car. This his first run in the Charger division for HB Motorsports. Lap 12 about to be scored, and Ron Eifert III continues to lead, the Scottdale driver, who's been victorious in Young Guns racing, Super Compact racing, and Charger racing in his young career. Three drivers who have all been to victory lane in 2010, just destroying this field and making it a 3-horse battle with 2 laps to go. Eifert now stretching out his margin over Keller. Farrell in third spot briefly looked to have a challenge on Keller, but now the leaders are evenly spaced into turn 3. White flag will be displayed this time. The Napa Auto Parts, Ron Eifert's Garage 61. A 3-division winner at age 21, if you can believe it. And looking to become a multiple feature winner here after 2 more corners. On the final lap, look at Farrell throw that car in a challenge for third. He nearly spins, but the checkered flag will wave for Ron Eifert III over Denny Keller. Zane Farrell, last week's winner Ed McConnell with a 4th place finish. And Chris Spadacine coming home 5th. Well, Ron Eifert, a Subway gift certificate for you. In these hot conditions, this is the second week in a row your feature has been in daylight. Is that a slippery racetrack with the sunlight beating on this pavement?
Very slippery. I prefer the night, but tonight it paid off.
Now let's talk about the race car. Have you made any changes since your last win? I know the last time we talked to you in Victory Lane, there was a big improvement. Have you still been working on the car, or has it been just right since then?
After last week, today, before I started, I adjusted the sway bar a little bit, and it ran great.
And how about a chance to thank all your sponsors and crew for this, your 3rd career win in the division?
Well, I'd also like to, I'm glad to see that my buddy Mike George is all right. He's the one that rolled it over, and this one's for him tonight. And I'd like to thank Westmore Insurance, Napa, Eifert's Garage, Capers, Burkhart's, Espy's Meat Market, everyone, thanks.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, back in victory lane, Ron Eifert III. So the first driver to pull for a starting position will be tonight's fastest qualifier, Bobby Henry. We'll get a quick word from the pole driver as he qualified fastest, give you the autograph marker. Well, Bobby Henry, first of all, is that a qualifying setup, or is the car going around those 2 laps just the same as it will for the feature?
Well, I'd like to think it's going to go around there in a feature like that, but it won't. I mean, we've been fast all year for half a race, and then it's just like somebody flips a switch and the thing goes south on you. We're working on it, getting it closer. Hopefully tonight's the night.
Tonight could be the night, and he will draw for starting position right now. Pick one of those 12 bumper stickers. He's got a good luck charm to help him make this decision. And Bobby Henry, tonight's fastest qualifier, will start from position number 10. The 5th row will be the starting position for fast qualifier Bobby Henry of Connellsville. Second fastest qualifier, his teammate Gary Wiltrout, the former track champion. Gary, same question. Did you do anything different to that car for time trials? Obviously no fuel, but did you tinker with the setup at all just for a good time trial run?
Absolutely not. That's the fastest I ever did qualify, and I never could qualify, and I really ain't sure what happened, how that happened.
Here he goes to draw his starting position. Up next, Gary Wiltrout, champion of Jennerstown Speedway, champion of Motordrome Speedway, former winner of a 100-lap crown jewel event here at Motordrome. And his starting position chosen for him, number 1. Gary Wiltrout, the second fast qualifier, will start from the pole. Oh, there he is. I couldn't even see the guy. He's all the way down here at the end. Third quick qualifier, Mark Catone. Well, Mark, defending track champion you are. Have you ever won a 100-lap race here at Motordrome?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I know we got one at Jennerstown. I don't know about Motordrome, but got to thank the fans for nice showing for the fans to come out tonight. Really appreciate that. Got beautiful weather, and we're going to have a fan. Debbie here is going to pull a bumper sticker for us, so we'll see what we get.
There he is, a good luck charm coming to draw. Mark Catone about to find out his starting position for the Steel City 100. I have heard before that Mark Catone is a little superstitious, and the position drawn is 8. 8th starting spot for Mark Catone in car 31. Up next will be the driver of the 96, Mark Poole. Mark, you've been to victory lane at Motordrome numerous times. What would a 100-lap crown jewel victory mean to you?
It would mean everything. I've been trying to do this, and after last October's race, leading 70-some laps, I certainly would like to do it tonight.
He almost did it in the Piney Lasky Memorial. Now we'll see where Mark Poole will start car number 96 for the Steel City 100. Third position for Mark Poole. Position number 3 for the driver of car 96. He's been a winner this season. And now the driver not quite suited up for battle yet, Neil Brown. Neil in car 68 tonight. Tell us about this new arrangement for the black machine you'll be steering here tonight.
I want to thank Bob Bentz, Senior Bob Bentz Jr. for giving me the opportunity to drive a 68 car. I appreciate it, and we're here to see if we can luck one out tonight, win one for Bob Bentz Sr. And want to thank Jim Alborn, my crew chief. He's done a lot of work to the car this week. And want to thank all the fans for coming out. Appreciate your support.
A former winner of the Piney Lasky Memorial 100, Neil Brown from Acme, Pennsylvania, will now draw for his starting position. And the bumper sticker drawn is position 5. Neil Brown will start from position number 5. Next up, a recent feature winner, Barry Oddie in car 75. The next driver to draw. Barry, your feature win this season was in very unlikely circumstances. You started 13th that night. How important is this bumper sticker draw when you could win from that deep in the field?
I'm just going to ride around and take Mark's advice and wait till lap 75, then I'm going to go.
There he is, his car number 75, and he's going to wait till lap 75, but he will be starting the number 75 machine from Jenners, Pennsylvania in position number 2. Position number 2, a front row starting spot for Barry Oddie. A pretty good place to begin riding around. Next up, Dave Riggin, the New York Invader. Dave, you've traveled all over the eastern United States, raced in Florida, all over New York. Tell us about the Motordrome Speedway and where that ranks, because this is one of the faster tracks that you'll see as compared to one of your home speedways, the Lake Erie Speedway.
Yeah, we like it here. We've been working hard trying to get a decent car for tonight. We've been pretty good here a couple times. I hope we do okay tonight.
A couple of memorable performances for Dave Riggin in 100-lap events here before at Motordrome Speedway, including last October, a late race charge to the front, and Dave Riggin will start from 7th position this evening in car 24. And the most recent winner, the next driver up to draw for a starting position, Steve Black. We talked to you in Victory Lane a week ago. Did it all settle in yet? Has it sunk in that you're now a NASCAR Super Late Model winner?
Yeah, it's settled in, and we need to go get him this week. We can't worry about last week. That's all over now. It's time to go for this week.
He's traveled with the Mara Series and gained valuable experience in 100-lap events before, and now Steve Black of Greensburg will make his position draw. Normally, the most recent winner starts toward the tail, but with this draw, he starts from 4th. A second row starting spot for Steve Black, the most recent winner in car 1. Next up, the former Jennerstown Speedway champion, Tommy Beck. Tommy, you got a teammate out there tonight. You're going to be seeing double. You're going to look like you're trying to pass yourself in that Benz Motorsports ride tonight. I know you've had teammates before, and you've been a Benz team member for a long time. When was your last 100-lap victory? I know you've scored one here at Motordrome.
If I'm thinking right, it was this race 2 years ago, maybe? I can't remember. One of the 100 laps 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago for this very race, and now a chance to draw for starting spot after a feature win earlier in 2010. Tommy Beck, the driver of car 60, will start from position number 11. Position number 11 for Tommy Beck in car 60. Up next, John Komarinsky, the former Pro Stock champion, winner in the Super Late Models. John, you have to be impressed. You've only been out 3-4 races, and it seems like you've been in the top 5 or top 3 every time out this season.
We're not bad. We're not real good tonight, but I'm not really too worried about it. It's a 100-lap race. You know, I expected to qualify better, but like I said, 100 laps, you know, it's a long way. If we have to adjust the car, we'll come in and adjust it, you know.
I'm ready to draw for a starting position, the driver who seeks his first Crown Jewel 100-lap victory after a win just a couple seasons ago in this division. Position number 12, John Komarinsky gets the row 6 starting position. Up next will be the driver of car 18, the 3-time track champion, Rick Miller. Rick, have you been to Victory Lane in a 100-lap race here at Motordrome with all your victories at this track in the 1990s and early 2000s?
No, not a 100-lap race. I've won some 50-lappers and 75-lappers here, but I've never won the 100-lappers. I've been second a lot, but close but no cigar.
In recent seasons, you've been traveling out on the road, the Mara Series, and of course you did some ASA racing. You have to appreciate this 100-lap event because you probably have more experience in extra distance races than any driver in this field.
Yeah, you have to take a different mindset to this race. It's all about strategy, saving your tires, being patient, and see who has the best car at the end.
Here he goes to draw for starting position, Rick Miller. This season, the driver of the Hemp Hill Racing number 18 car. Next to the last sticker that's available on the front straight, and he will go from position number 9. Rick Miller from 9th starting position, and that leaves one driver left. Mr. Jeff Brown, welcome back to the Motordrome Speedway on the heels of your victory up at the Lake Erie Speedway. Let's talk a little bit about how your season's gone to this point.
Well, we're doing pretty good up at Erie, and we decided to leave that car home because we're doing so well with it, and we brought one of the old cars out. And it's been about 4 years since I've been here, and we're having fun. We're just going to try and keep our nose clean and do the best we can.
Well, he only has one choice to make, and we will see what position that is when he picks up the final bumper sticker, and then we will be set for 25 laps of racing action in the Napa Street Stocks. 6th position is what remained for Jeff Brown. How about a round of applause for all the top 12 qualifiers in the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models, and we get set to go racing with the Napa Auto Parts Street Stocks. Jefferson in 31, Terry Schwartz in 03, Tom Durdovich in 23. Napa Street Stocks, green flag is out, 25 laps of feature racing. Early race lead, as has happened so many times this season. Tom Knight Sr. gets a terrific start. Knight has led so many feature laps this season, only to have heartbreaking finishes, and has yet to win a feature event in 2010. 3 wide down the front straight. It's Dustin Blank precariously low on the speedway. He finds room in front of Zellweger to gain the 5th position, as the pole starter in car 18 having some problems, dropping back very quickly. Side-by-side battle, Sean Phillips to the inside of Andrew Kostelnik. This only Phillips' second start of 2010. He takes away the 3rd position. We are working lap 2, and Tom Knight Sr. leads defending champion Dink Colarusso, then Phillips and Kostelnik. Kostelnik now feeling the pressure of Dustin Blank in car 94. Blank, a feature winner in 09, yet to reach victory lane in 2010. Just like Knight, he has led numerous laps in feature racing. Scott Aiello is the points leader. He is challenging the 94 of Blank. Aiello's 00 car, a brand new team. This is HB Motorsports, and Aiello went to victory lane on opening night in his 5th ever start in a street stock. Now that he's made about 12 or 15 starts in this division, finds himself leading the championship point standings. Just behind the Aiello-Blank battle, it's the only 3-time winner in the division in car 3, Teddy Gibala. Gibala, with those 3 victories, starting nearer the tail of the field tonight. We'll see if he can move up after a couple of consecutive dominating performances. It's still Kostelnik, Blank, and Aiello riding in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Just in front of these drivers, a battle for 2nd develops. On the back straight, Sean Phillips in car 31 dives to the inside of the 0 of Dink Colarusso. Colarusso, with 1 win, was the dominating winner last season when he earned the championship title. Phillips, a champion a couple of years ago in the Napa Street Stocks, had a devastating engine fire in practice on opening night and only made his first official start last Friday. And it was a good one, by the way, as he was nearly in victory lane at that 35-lap feature special event. Now at the regular distance of 25 laps, Phillips reels in the defending champ, makes a little bumper contact going into turn 1, and Colarusso makes a great save. Colarusso had that wheel turned every direction to stay pointed straight off the front bumper of Sean Phillips. It's still Tom Knight Sr. leading this feature, beginning to work lap number 8. Knight has had everything going his way, as he has several times this season, looking for that first win. Now into turn 1 again. Contact made between Phillips and Colarusso. 2 longtime veteran racers swapping paint. This is the battle for 2nd position. We're still early on in this feature, but don't tell that to those guys. Looks like they're racing for the checkered flag early on in this one. Now Phillips able to stretch out by a car length. Maybe that will end the contact between these 2 veterans. Phillips last week tried to run down Teddy Gibala for the win in his 2nd start of the season. He's had several consecutive years of opening night disasters, but that includes the season he recovered to win a championship. Now he looks to the inside of Tom Knight Sr. Knight still the leader officially by a fender on lap 10, but Phillips completes the pass in turn 1. Now Colarusso bouncing through the dirt on the apron of the speedway to try and muscle into the 2nd spot. Tom Knight still able to defend the runner-up position, although he has lost the lead now. And defending champ Colarusso has another good run on the veteran. Into turn 1 again with Colarusso on the bottom. This time he will complete the pass of Knight. And here comes Scott Aiello, the points leader in 00. Aiello, an opening night feature win, and since then rather consistent performances. Challenging Knight for 3rd now. And on lap 12, Aiello hits the apron and has to back off, giving Knight a couple car lengths of breathing room to hang on to that 3rd position, at least for the moment. Leader putting a lap on Terry Schwartz. Now Aiello in the 00 car on lap 13, able to complete the pass of Knight for 3rd. It could be that Aiello's 00 is the fastest car on the speedway. He started deep in this field and has quickly outrun the 3rd place car. That was Knight in 3rd when he approached, and he is very quickly gaining on the 0 of Dink Colarusso. It is lap 14 of 25. Will Aiello have enough time to reel in and pass Colarusso and then chop into the huge lead of Sean Phillips, the former champion, up front. Phillips right now with about a half straightaway lead back to Aiello, more than a third of a straightaway lead back to Colarusso, and there are 10 laps remaining. Headed into turn 3, a battle for fourth shaping up as Andrew Kostelnik has reeled in Tom Knight Sr. Those machines were putting a lap on the 03 of rookie Terry Schwartz. And here on lap 16, Kostelnik appears ready to strike. The younger brother of former street stock champion Adam Kostelnik, Andrew himself a champion of the Jennerstown Speedway. And with that action settling down, headed into turn 1, a battle for the second spot as Aiello very quickly has caught Dink Colarusso. It's lap 17 now, and Aiello is clearly the fastest car on the racetrack at this moment, but you have to wonder if race leader Sean Phillips might not be saving something for the last few laps. Aiello quickly diving to the inside of good friend Dink Colarusso. And in turn number 2, Colarusso trying to make that car awfully wide, but Aiello sneaks by, and the second position changes hands. That's good news in one respect for Aiello. The bad news for Scott Aiello, the points leader, is that it is now lap 19 of 25, and Sean Phillips in car 31 has a huge lead over this field. Phillips, who began his career in the former Pure Stock division in the 1990s, moved on to become a winner in the street stocks, a consistent performer, and then a champion and dominant feature winner in his car 31. Jefferson, Pennsylvania resident, not in championship contention as he missed the first third of the season after a fire in practice for opening night sidelined this Monte Carlo. Working lap 21 at the scoring line now, just 4 to go, and Aiello, although gaining on the race leader, will clearly run out of time unless there's a caution flag. On the back straight, a battle for 5th position. Oh, we had a spin there just in front of the leader as Durdovich went around but then kept the car moving. Scott Aiello would be sending him a fruit basket if he had stopped on the racetrack to cause a caution period right now. But there are 3 laps to go and the race is well in hand at this point for Sean Phillips, who will quickly be approaching that Durdovich machine to put him a lap down. Signal of 2 laps to go to the former champion. Many drivers have primary sponsors and secondary sponsors. Sean Phillips has a plethora of sponsors on that race car. Every little bit helps as he chooses small businesses with lots and lots of small contributions. Taking the white flag now, and Aiello has closed up significantly. Will the Durdovich lapped car play a factor in this one? Phillips dives low on Durdovich. He sneaks by. I don't think Tom knew he was coming to the inside. Final 2 corners, and it will be a first checkered flag of the season for former track champion Sean Phillips in car 31. Over points leader Scott Aiello, defending champion Dink Colarusso, Tom Knight Sr., and Dustin Blank. Well, Sean Phillips, before we talk about this race, the words opening night have to sound like curse words to you. Do you want to tell the fans about some of the things that have happened to you in recent seasons on opening night at Motordrome Speedway?
3 years ago in practice, rode the wall, lost it. Last year, first heat race, wrecked in turn 3. This year, blew my motor, caught on fire. I just don't even want to talk about it. Let's change the subject.
We're going to change the subject of this outstanding race. How could a car that sat through the first third of the season with these new tires come out and run so quick last week where you almost won the biggest event of the season? Had you been preparing this car all along, or was it kind of a guess at the setup last week?
Nah, I'd walk in the garage, look at it, get disgusted, and go back in the house with my kids. But I just put a new right rear on it tonight, and I had a little bit of a falling out with my engine guy. Dick Rue in Uniontown built my motor, and I was a little bit loose. I had to slow down a little bit. I just didn't want to cook my right rear because I could see him catching me, but I thought I'd run out of laps enough time that he wouldn't catch me. So,
And a chance to thank your sponsors and crew for this perseverant victory.
First off, my crew, Lou, Garrett, Sam, Tabby, Maria, my wife, my kids, Tabby, especially everybody that sits up in there. I love racing for you guys. And Gina Boots Candy, Doria's Catering. That's been so I forget I'll do this. DW Custom, Paul Bilalovic Insurance, Hoos Auto Detailing, Dr. Robert Clanchard Chiropractic, Parzinski's Funeral Home. Imagine that, a funeral home is one of my sponsors.
But he gets it done tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, after hard work and a disastrous opening night, Sean Phillips returns to victory lane at Motordrome Speedway. As we get set to go 25 laps of the YO Tech Modifieds. Vince Catering car 27 tags the tail of the field. We're green and racing. Hard on the brakes, somebody at the back of the field. We see a little smoke, green flag is still out. And for the first time driving the Nicola Racing ride, Bobby Shipp takes the lead from front row starting mate Troy Knight. We were 3 wide briefly out of turn 4. Billy Rebar taking the second position away from Troy Knight. Rebar in the 18, making a great pass for position. Here comes Pat Handley sliding into third as Troy Knight is trapped in the lesser used outside lane just in front of Brian Shipp, and they nearly made contact. Wheel to wheel, it's Gary Scott and Troy Knight just behind them, 17. J.P. Weiser, a Lake Erie Speedway Rookie of the Year last season. Race leader continues to be Bobby Shipp in a borrowed ride. Billy Rebar in second and battling wheel to wheel Adam Kostelnik in 00 alongside the car he drove to 6 championships. That's Pat Handley in car 60, and Handley falls back to 4th. Both of those teams looking for their first win of 2010 as Kostelnik now at the wheel of the HB Motorsports 00 closes in on the flying fireman Billy Rebar. Oh, we're 3 wide and heavy contact into turn 1. The 14 of Bentz got into the 71 at Knight. Last week's winner, Lonnie Hoffman, I think avoided contact there. Bentz is just underneath last week's winner, but up front, it's the 04, formerly the 97 of Bobby Shipp, and now Adam Kostelnik steals second away from young Billy Rebar. Kostelnik used to battle this red machine up front time and time again with George Nicola. Side by side for third, Pat Handley and Billy Rebar. And Handley will be officially scored in third as we begin to work lap 7. Here comes a challenge for the lead. Kostelnik to the high side. Kostelnik around Bobby Shipp as last year's 2 championship rivals, now in different machines, swapping the lead on lap 7. Here comes Pat Handley, who gets a little crossed up on the outside of Bobby Shipp's 04 car. Brian Shipp in the 40 now muscles his way beneath Billy Rebar and pulls up to the back bumper of his big brother, then tags the back bumper of his rear brother. Yeah, I said something almost right in that sentence. Shipp tags his brother's rear bumper. They are to the outside of Billy Rebar. And working lap 9, Adam Kostelnik is the race leader. This action is happening for positions 3rd, 4th, on back. They're still wheel to wheel back there, trying for top 5 positions, including the 16 of Scott and recent Lake Erie feature winner J.P. Weiser in 17. A big jam up of race cars for position 5, 6 on back. Currently in 4th, the 04 of pole starter Bobby Shipp. Then Billy Rebar side by side with Gary Scott, racing very close through turn 3. 14 of Bobby Bentz is to the inside of J.P. Weiser. This is Bentz's second start of the season in the Stans Transmissions 14 car. He nearly made contact with rebar on the front straight. Now entering into the mix, Lonnie Hoffman, the two-time feature winner, including last Friday. He darts to the inside of J.P. Weiser. Open-wheeled cars going wheel to wheel for entire laps around this speedway. Incredible action. On lap 12, Hoffman continues to gain spots. He's past Weiser. Now he slides beneath rebar. Battle of Smithton residents won by Hoffman right there, as Hoffman has now climbed into about the 8th position. Bobby Benson, the 14, looms just in front. Action settles down just a bit. Up front, Adam Kostelnik in 00, the 6-time champion looking for his first win of this season with a brand new team. In second spot, his former team. Now Pat Hanley from Monroeville is the driver. In third spot, Brian Shipp in car 40. Shipp seems to be closing on Hanley, but all three of these cars within just a couple of car lengths of one another, although they have pulled away by nearly a full straightaway from the remainder of this field here on lap 15. There are 10 laps to go, and all three drivers in this lead pack have yet to win in 2010. Kostelnik, the dominant feature winner of the last half-decade, out in front. Hanley, the rookie to both modifieds and pavement racetracks, looking for the first win of his career at Motordrome. Brian Shipp, a winner in 2009. And we've got heated action now in the battle for fourth. Bobby Shipp entering turn 3 now. With behind him side by side, Gary Scott and Bobby Benz with Lonnie Hoffman right there. J.P. Weiser gets the car a little loose. These drivers have been making contact lap after lap. Too wide, they race for fourth. Gary Scott trying to complete the pass of Bobby Shipp, and he will. Here comes Hoffman. Now Chris Brinkworth 3 wide in turn 3. Brink had to back off in order to save the car, loses a couple positions, but a wise thing to do as the points leader. Now it's Gary Scott in fourth, Lonnie Hoffman in fifth. Up front, Adam Kostelnik looking for his first victory of 2010. Contact made in the battle for the lead. Adam Kostelnik gets a rear bumper tag from the team that carried him to 6 championships. Pat Hanley is at the wheel. A recent interview done by Dave Dragovich, Kostelnik said, no hard feelings, still good friends with the Vigliones, still good friends with Hanley, who gets a touch from Brian Shipp and nearly loses the car. A great save, a veteran-like move to keep from spinning, and that driver is in his first season of asphalt modified racing. At the scoring line, only 4 laps to go, and that little touch from Brian Shipp to Pat Hanley allowed Adam Kostelnik the biggest lead to this point in the race, which is still only about a car length or 2. They head down the back straight, Kostelnik in 00, Pat Hanley in 60, 40 Brian Shipp. At any season in the past 5 years, it would be utter shock to tell a Motordrome race fan that Adam Kostelnik has not yet been to victory lane. He gets another tap. Pat Hanley wants the veteran to know that tonight could be the night. A rookie goes to victory lane in the Wyotech Modifieds. Brian Shipp right there in third. Bumper tag throughout the top 3 with 2 laps to go. Oh, we've got a problem on the front straight, but the green flag stays out. Everybody is still pointed the right direction. Action happening all over this racetrack. But the top 3, all eyes on Kostelnik and his former ride knocking at the door with the white flag waving. Here comes Brian Shipp. It's a 3-car fight for the win on the final time around Motordrome Speedway. Kostelnik and his former car and Brian Shipp all fighting for the checkers. It will be a first-time winner. Which of these 3 will go to victory lane for the first time in 2010? Adam Kostelnik wins for HB Motorsports in the 00 over Brian Shipp, Pat Hanley, Gary Scott, and Lonnie Hoffman. Adam, a Subway gift certificate. First, let's talk about this team. brand new to you over the winter time. I know this engine configuration is all new. Tell us about some of the differences in this machine to the one that you've driven for 6 straight years.
Yeah, the other car I drove was a open motor. This is a crate motor. This all come together probably about 3 weeks, 4 weeks before race season. I decided I didn't want to drive a 60 car no more, and Howie come to me and he goes, I want to put you in a modified and help my team out be the leader. And man, if it wasn't for Howie, man, I wouldn't even be racing this right now. And, man, we've changed everything on this car. I've broke everything on it. 2 weeks ago, I took it, I cut the front clip off it, was running good last week. And man, this ain't a JR chassis, this ain't a Harry-Ofer chassis, this is an AK chassis.
A designer and builder of street stocks and modifieds, did you believe that this car was capable of winning when you got in it on opening night without all the hacking and chopping?
You know what, I knew we bought a decent car. Didn't think of it, you know what I mean, I broke everything on it. I've changed everything on the car, had engine problems. Man, if there's any way I broke stuff, and in 6 years I had a great run, and hats off to Vigliones. I mean, they're still good friends, good run for Pat, and he's going to get one too, but man, it's about Howie. It's just, I didn't think it was going to take us this long, to be honest with you.
And a chance to thank sponsors and other crew members.
Andy Snowmobile, Remax, Styles Marine, North Star Equipment, Scott Aiello Auto Body, Sammy Bayless, Corman Corporation. I mean, the list just goes on. Ding, Kenny, Armory Locks, Tony Manganello, Chris, Scott's wife, Chris. It's been a while. I got to practice this, but stands. But the main thing, this is Howie. This is his win. This one's for him. First one in a modified, brother.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, returning to victory lane, Adam Kostelnik. Racing for 10 years from his home in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Driving car number 83, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Moose. Inside the last row, the rookie, the defending Charger Division champion, leaping up the NASCAR ladder to the Subway Super Late Models. We call him the Duke of Roughdale. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Gardner. Up next, a driver in his first full season of competition at the Motordrome Speedway. He studied under Mr. Consistency. Dave, he's coming to us from Clarksburg, West Virginia. A John Messenger understudy, now a racer himself. Ladies and gentlemen, in car 28, Dave Wiltsey. Opening night feature winner starts inside from Alum Bank, Pennsylvania. In the Dave Manzone 51 Motorsports entry, ladies and gentlemen, Todd Price. Up next in car 33, over 20 years of racing for the former Pro Stock champion. He's a feature winner in the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models. In car number 33, ladies and gentlemen, John Komarinsky. A former winner of this event and a former champion of the Jennerstown Speedway. With one feature win in 2010 from Murraysville, Pennsylvania, the Benz Motorsports number 60 is driven by Tommy Beck. Up next, the fastest qualifier for the Steel City 100. Shockingly winless so far in 2010, but he is the 2007 Motordrome Speedway champion. From Connellsville, Pennsylvania, former winner of this event in car 11, Bobby Henry. Former champion of the Clearfield Speedway and a 3-time champion of the Motordrome Speedway in a brand new ride this season for Hemp Hill Racing. Driving car number 18 from Dunbar, ladies and gentlemen, Rick Miller. Up next, the 3-time Motordrome track champion, a former Jennerstown champion, a graduate of the ARCA Pro 4 Series, former Iceman racer and 2-time winner in 2010. From McKeesport, Pennsylvania, in car 31, Mark Catone. To the inside, from Clarence, New York, the driver who's raced all over the eastern United States, a former Mara Series traveler. A couple of memorable performances in 100-lap events here before. Ladies and gentlemen, car 24 is driven by Dave Riggin. Up next from Hamburg, New York, another traveler of the Mara Series. Making his first start at Motordrome in several seasons and starting from the outside of row number 3. winner at the Lake Erie Speedway in 2010 in car number 3, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Brown. Actually, an entire row of Browns here in row 3. In car number 68, the Acme, Pennsylvania driver who's the leading feature winner of 2010, 2009, and 2008. Former Jennerstown Speedway champion, ladies and gentlemen, Neil Brown. To the outside of row number 2, on the heels of his first career victory in the Subway Super Late Models, the former Truck Division champion from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, starting from 4th tonight as the most recent winner, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Black. Starting from 3rd position, a graduate of Legacy Car Racing, now a multiple feature winner in the recent seasons at Motordrome Speedway. With 1 victory in 2010, he drives car number 96 from the hometown of 84, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Poole. An outstanding qualifying run tonight after a feature victory 2 weeks ago. The former champion of Jennerstown Speedway, the former champion of Clearfield Speedway. From Jenners, Pennsylvania, in car number 75, ladies and gentlemen, Barry Audi. And by luck of the draw, starting from the pole for the Steel City 100, a former winner of Crown Jewel 100 lap events at the Motordrome Speedway, a former Jennerstown champion, and the 2002 Motordrome Speedway track champion. The Paula Grudo Motorsports number 95 on the pole belongs to Somerset, Pennsylvania's Gary Wiltrout. Subway Restaurants franchisee Paul Hill to get the Steel City 100 underway.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Of green flag action for the NASCAR Subway Super Late Models. Honorary flagman Haley Brunson waves the green, and the Steel City 100 thunders into turn 1. Door to door on lap 1, Gary Wiltrout and Barry Audi, 2 veterans who've been to victory lane at Motordrome several times. Wiltrout now opens up an advantage over Audi and Poole. And the battle for the 4th spot, that is Neil Brown in the 68 car that looks like a number 60. Taking a spot away from most recent winner Steve Black in the 1. A couple of New York drivers banging doors back there in top 10 positions. Dave Riggin and Jeff Brown racing very close with one another here in the opening stanza. Battle for second, Mark Poole in car 96 and Barry Audi in 75. Audi, a former winner of the Snap-on Tools 100 at Jennerstown. Losing that position to Mark Poole. Next to challenge Audi will be the 68 car of Neil Brown. They are side by side on the front straight. An entire lap door to door for the 3rd position. Neil Brown on the inside, Barry Audi on the outside. Mark Catone, the defending track champion, watches that battle as he sits in 5th. Now Brown has cleared Audi for 3rd position. And by a car length, on lap 7, it is officially Neil Brown in 3rd. Mark Catone now battling with Barry Audi. Catone and Audi had a memorable duel to a checkered flag about 3 weeks ago when Audi got his first win of 2010. Challenge for the lead. Mark Poole looking to the inside of Gary Wiltrout. Wiltrout, who got a second place finish about 3 weeks ago when he and Tommy Beck raced door to door for more than 20 laps, swapping the lead officially 6 times and countless times unofficially. Wiltrout with a second and a couple of other top 5s this season, yet to visit victory lane. Poole in a 96 car with 1 win this season, diving to beneath Wiltrout. They are door to door for the lead in turn 4. Very close racing early on in the Steel City 100. Wiltrout officially maintains the point position by a full fender at the scoring line on lap 10, and as they go side by side, Mark Catone has broken away from Barry Audi and is challenging Neil Brown. 2 sets of cars going 2 by 2 in the top 5. Out of turn 4, Mark Poole will take the lead away on lap 11, and on the same lap, Mark Catone inches ahead of Neil Brown for 3rd. These 4 cars separating themselves from the rest of the field. It's Poole, Wiltrout, Catone, and Brown. Steve Black in car 1 goes side by side with Barry Audi. Audi in the 75 dropping back after he started on the front row. The former Jennerstown and Clearfield Speedway champion. In the Wheeler Brothers, Stoystown Auto Wrecking 75 loses another position, and we got a caution flag. In turn 4, Todd Price has spun the Man's Family 51 machine, and Dave Wiltsey is hard into the wall in turn 3. Wiltsey's car was some significant rear end damage, as it appears that he got into the wall, whereas Price may have just spun. A restart on lap 13 of 100. Mark Poole, the race leader. Gary Wiltrout in second, Catone in third, Neil Brown in 4th, Steve Black in 5th. Remember, after halfway, all restarts will be double file. Action settles down just a bit here in the early stages of the Steel City 100. Challenge for second position, Mark Catone in 31. Looks to the inside of Gary Wiltrout in 95. Early race leader Wiltrout will be back in 3rd spot as Catone grabs the runner-up position on lap 15. Challenge for 6th position among veterans, Bobby Henry in car 11. Looking to the inside of the 75 of Barry Audi. Audi has had some great 100-lap runs here, and on the heels of a victory a couple of weeks ago, struggling here on lap 16 after a front row starting position. He is about to fall into 7th place as Bobby Henry of Connellsville completes the pass. Here comes Tommy Beck in the 60, another recent feature winner. Now a battle for 3rd. Headed into turn number 3. Neil Brown in his 2nd ride on a Benz Motorsports Chevrolet was looking to the inside of Gary Wiltrout. He had the nose almost up to the door of the 95 car. Now Wiltrout with about a car length advantage, making 2 car lengths down the back straight. Race leader remains Mark Poole. Mark Catone in 2nd spot. So many times a battle of the marks here in 2009 and 10 for Motordrome Speedway victories. Mark Poole in car 96 began his racing career in the Legacy Series half-scale race cars. Mark Catone began his racing career in the 4-cylinder super compacts on the dirt here at Motordrome. Went on to ARCA Touring Series 4-cylinder action before earning Jennerstown and Motordrome championships in the NASCAR Subway Super Late models. Poole had always considered himself a Jennerstown ace with victories at that now closed venue. But in the last 3 seasons, he's been a dominant winner here at Motordrome. Catone and Poole have separated themselves by a pretty good margin from Neil Brown, who's now all by himself in 3rd spot, moving around Gary Wiltrout. Wiltrout now falling back to the number 1 of Steve Black, who rides in 5th. Then it's Bobby Henry in the 11, so Black separating the 2 teammates who were 1st and 2nd fastest in qualifying time trials earlier tonight. Black, the most recent feature winner, and it's nothing short of shocking that the R&R Motorsports team has not yet picked up a win with former champions Wiltrout and Henry in those potent green and white Fords. Black, who's having a career season, gets into the back of Wiltrout in turn 4. Wiltrout with an amazing save. Henry backs off to let that action settle down as Black has made it clear he wants the inside lane on lap 25. This battle for 4th position in the Steel City 100. Wiltrout still comfortable in the higher groove of the speedway and able for the moment to thwart the advances of Black in spite of that contact. Now Henry all over the rear bumper of Black's Toyota. Working lap 26, Henry trying to pull up to the rear bumper of his teammate by diving beneath last Friday night's winner, Steve Black, and the 2007 Motordrome champion will take away the 5th position here on lap 27. Headed into turn 3, a check-in with the race leaders, Mark Poole and Mark Catone. Catone right under the rear spoiler of Poole, but not yet able to mount a challenge to the inside or outside of the 96 car. This time a terrific run for Catone off turn 2. This may be the lap that Mark Catone threatens for the lead. They go very close into turn 3. Wheel to wheel on lap 26. And officially Mark Catone becomes the leader of the Steel City 100. Diving beneath Mark Poole, but Poole battles back on the outside with a great run down the back straight. Door to door once again into turn 3. And Catone again holds the lead by less than a car length. Both of these drivers with multiple wins in 2009, both of these drivers in victory lane in 2010, and they put a lap on the 83 of Joe Moose in turn 4. All by himself in 3rd spot is the 68 of Neil Brown, and then a position has changed hands. That'd be 4th spot. It's now Bobby Henry in front of his teammate Gary Wiltrout, with Steve Black back in 6th spot. Pellegrino team members riding 4th and 5th after a 1st and 2nd qualifying effort tonight. Both machines sponsored by Stone & Company, Scottdale Lumber, the Daily Courier, and Megan Ford. 2 former champions, currently 4th and 5th, ahead of Steve Black, last week's winner. Himself in 3rd position, it's Neil Brown. His teammate Tommy Beck just in front of Komarinsky in the 60 car, headed into turn 1 on lap 34 of 100. Beck, a feature winner in 2010. Beck, a dirt track racer. When not here at Motordrome, he travels with the UFO Super Late Model Tour and is a winner at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway on the dirt with his family operation. But here on Friday nights, he drives the Benz Motorsports number 60 in NASCAR competition. Former Jennerstown champion is just in front of John Komarinsky in the 33, the former Motordrome Pro Stock champion. He's been to victory lane in the Subway Super Late Models. And behind him, Rick Miller, the 3-time Motordrome champion with a brand new ride for 2010, the Chad Hemphill machine. Now they tighten up in this battle, trying to put a lap on the Joe Moose 83 car. Komarinsky was right up to Beck's bumper there as they approached the slower machine. Komarinsky's only made a few starts in 2010 and believe all of them have landed him inside the top 5 as he missed the first several weeks of action, and that 33 car was stellar from the time it first hit the pavement here in 2010. He takes that spot away from Tommy Beck. Rick Miller dives right in as well. Beck seems to be up to full speed, but losing 2 positions in a single lap is the former winner of this event, Tommy Beck. It's lap 39. Beck is now back into the 9th position. Lap 40, the race leader setting a blistering pace. Mark Catone in 31, Mark Poole in 96. They are separated by about 4 or 5 car lengths, maybe more. Then all by himself in 3rd, Neil Brown, as we were just watching Tommy Beck in an identically painted Benz Motorsports machine. Neil Brown in this 68 car. One tiny piece of orange duct tape separating it from the number 60 machine in appearance. But Brown in his 2nd week behind the wheel of this Chevrolet as he left his number 98 Ford in the shop at home. Last week he tuned up for this event behind the wheel of this car. Currently sits in 3rd spot, but behind him, Bobby Henry in the 11 has outrun his teammate Gary Wiltrout and seems to be closing in on Neil Brown. Henry, a former winner of this race as well. Taking up chase of Neil Brown, now driving the Stans Transmission Service Monarch Oil Baker Race Cars number 60 Chevrolet. Drivers in 3rd and 4th. Brown and Henry. Wiltrout in 5th all by himself. As we are approaching the midpoint of this event, 45 laps completed in the 2010 Steel City 100. Mark Catone increasing his lead over Mark Poole. The Auto Express Transportation, Mama Papino's Pizza, Beam Auto Service 31, the defending Motordrome champion, 3 times a track champion here, also a Jennerstown champion. Catone, known much more for his smart, conservative driving, took the lead very early in the Steel City 100. And on lap 47 continues to distance himself from Mark Poole in car 96, the Howard Concrete Pumping Donaldson Supply Chevrolet. Bobby Henry in the 11 closing in on the 68 of Neil Brown. Will be a battle for 3rd position if Henry continues to gain, and he does in turn 3. Henry moving very close. Very, very close, in fact, to the left rear fender of Brown. 2 veteran drivers, both have 100-lap crown jewel victories at Motordrome. And crossed flags, lap 50 of the Steel City 100. Mark Catone leading Mark Poole, and now this battle for 3rd. And we got a caution flag at lap 50. Rick Miller in car 18 could be dropping parts on the pavement as a mechanical failure sends the 3-time Motordrome champion pitside. Restarting from the 6th position, it's Komarinsky in 33, and the green is back out, halfway through the Steel City 100. Mark Catone leading Mark Poole. Then Neil Brown, Bobby Henry, Gary Wiltrout. So far, out of competition, the 28 of Dave Weltsy from Clarksburg, West Virginia, the 18 of Rick Miller from Dunbar, Pennsylvania, and the 3 of Jeff Brown from Hamburg, New York. Challenge for 2nd spot. Neil Brown moves to the inside of Mark Poole. Door to door on lap 52. Poole on the outside, Brown on the inside. dead heat down the back straight. Brown, who was losing considerable distance to Catone and Poole on this restart, comes to life on cold tires, and lap 53, Brown is into the runner-up position. Now side by side, it's Bobby Henry and Mark Poole. Perhaps Poole is the driver who is not comfortable on the cooler tires after that caution flag, as he is slipping back in the field. He loses another position to Henry, and Gary Wiltrout is about to make a pass. Mark Poole goes from second to fifth in just 2 laps on this restart. Working lap 55, Mark Catone stretches out his lead, which is now over the 68 of Neil Brown. Challenge now for second again after Brown advanced around Poole. Bobby Henry is trying to take advantage of a miscue. Brown got the 68 car loose coming out of turn 2. He had to dirt track. Oh, we got a problem in turn 3. Steve Black drifts up into the path of John Komarinsky after contact with Poole. Poole is headed pit side. Mark Poole maybe out of the Steel City 100 as he dropped back on that restart. I believe the other drivers were just trying to get around when he slowed. Now back to the second place battle, which is over. Bobby Henry has secured the runner-up spot, making a move on lap 58 to take the runner-up spot from Neil Brown. Brown now separating the teammates as Wiltrout is quickly gaining on the back of the 60 car. A very loose handling condition shown by Neil Brown each lap out of turn 2 and onto the backstretch. Thrilling couple of laps there as the action settles back down with 40 laps to go. On the front straight, Bobby Henry looking stout in the second position ahead of Neil Brown and Gary Wiltrout. Wiltrout looking to make a pass of Brown. Brown was outstanding on the cold tires of that restart. And now falling back just a bit. Wiltrout, the last several weeks, has been very fast in the middle to upper lane of the Motordrome Speedway, so if Brown holds the inside, Wiltrout will not be at all intimidated to swing up high in turns 3 and 4 to make a pass. In turns 1 and 2, Brown not using the very bottom of the speedway. Wiltrout now just as close as he's been throughout this battle, looking to the inside in turn 3. They nearly touch in turn 4. They do touch on the front straight, and the veterans are trading paint in this fight for third position on lap 64. Brown and Wiltrout each have been to victory lane in 100-lap crown jewel events at Motordrome. Brown with 3 wins in 2010 in his own number 98 car. Wiltrout with a couple of second-place runs, looking for his first win. Mark Poole returns to the racing surface, then pits again, so something amiss on the 96 machine. Now Wiltrout makes rear bumper contact as it seemed that Brown had to back off just a little to gather that car up in turn 4. Very loose handling is that 68 machine. A real handful for Neil Brown right now, with Gary Wiltrout filling his rearview mirror. Brown has to be thinking that if he can stay in third spot where he is right now, another cold tire restart allows him to line up just behind the race leader with another double file green flag shown. And that might be why he is fighting so hard to keep this third spot when it appears that Wiltrout has the faster of the 2 race cars. They move around the 83 of Joe Moose and into turn 1. This is lap 66 of 100. And Wiltrout masterfully changes lanes. He dives beneath the 68 of Brown. An incredible lane-changing move, passing the 83 of Joe Moose. And once again, door to door are the veterans in turn 4. Brown, by inches, officially reaches the scoring line on lap 69 to maintain third position. And now it's Wiltrout who slides the car just a bit, and Brown holds on to third. Brown's car dangerously loose, but he keeps it pointed in the right direction and holds off Wiltrout for third position. Both of these drivers, former Jennerstown Speedway champions. Now they approach the 51 of Todd Price, who just made a lengthy pit stop. Now Wiltrout will try the outside lane. Brown slams the door on him. Wiltrout has tried inside and outside passes to advance to third, which would put him directly behind his teammate on the scoreboard, although Henry has a half straightaway advantage in the second position over this battle, with Mark Catone continuing to lead. Steve Black is the driver in fifth, a distance behind this battle. Quite a ways between last week's winner Black and the fourth place driver of Gary Wiltrout, who continues to haunt the rear bumper. The 68 of Neil Brown. Out of turn 2 seems to be Wiltrout's best opportunity for a pass each lap. Again, he's right at the rear bumper of Brown. Now into turn 3, and Wiltrout has the inside lane opened up. Out of turn 4, he slides the car a little. It is now lap 75. And Gary Wiltrout yet to secure the third spot from Neil Brown. Looks like Brown may be getting a little bit faster now and opening up a car length or two advantage over Wiltrout. Up front, it's more than a half straightaway between Neil Brown in 68 and the 11 of Bobby Henry. Henry in second position with leader Mark Catone now stretching out the lead. The last several laps, Henry had been gaining, but now Catone stretching it out as we've reached lap 78 now at the scoring line. Mark Catone now pulling away from Henry in fine fashion after losing some of his interval in recent laps. Catone's machine, one of the oldest racing chassis in competition. This machine was a backup car after his primary ride was severely damaged last year in his run to the championship. And after this machine was put back together, turns out not such a bad ride. 3 feature wins dating back to 2009 since switching to this weathered machine, number 31. And with 20 laps to go, Catone all by himself in front of Henry. Third place battle continues on between the 68 of Brown and Henry's teammate, Wiltrout in 95. Those cars seem to be equaled out after, for a while, Wiltrout had the faster ride. Then Brown put a couple car lengths between them. Joe Moose in the 83 car will figure into this battle and forces Wiltrout on the brakes. Wiltrout loses about 4 car lengths that time. Lap 83. Brown hangs on to third over Wiltrout. Try to keep an eye on the lead interval. It would seem that Henry is gaining just slightly again on Catone, but it is not very much, and there are few laps remaining. It appears that it will require a caution flag for Henry to make a serious challenge for the win unless something happens to the 31 of Catone. These drivers have set such a torrid pace that Dave Riggin, the Clarence, New York driver, goes a lap down in car 24, and Riggin has a problem. Riggin has a serious problem, and that may be the caution flag that we're looking for, as Riggin is very slow on the back straight. Can he limp to the pits and preserve the lead interval of Mark Catone? The rear end has shifted out of the 24 car significantly, and it does appear that Riggin will make it into the pit area. Green flag stays out, lap 86. Mark Catone is clearly not pulling away from Henry. Henry is gaining just a bit each lap, but it will not be enough unless some dramatic turn of events would put these two drivers side by side for a restart. Recent feature winner Tommy Beck now going a lap down. That's the incredible pace of Mark Catone late in the going here in the Steel City 100. Laps to go. The Steel City 100. Mark Catone, race leader. Battle for third continues. It's Bobby Henry in second, then the 68 of Neil Brown and the 95 of Gary Wiltrout. They've been separated by a car length or less for almost half of this race, it would seem. Todd Price back on pit lane. Wiltrout unable to make the pass. It seems now both of those machines handling a bit loose. And Tommy Beck heads pit side. The 60 car now also out of competition on lap 92. There are 8 laps to go. Mark Catone approaches Matt Gardner's number 7 car. The rookie goes a lap down. Again, Henry is closing in, but there will not be enough time, with only 7 laps to go, for the former track champion to make a serious run at the win. That time he gained significantly on Catone. 6 laps remaining. Is Catone slowing down or deliberately making sure that his tires and car will last to the finish? Is Henry gaining ground at a pace that will result in a lead battle? 5 laps to go. Mark Catone's Chevrolet, sponsored by Auto Express Transportation, Mama Peppino's Pizza, Beam Auto Service, and Baker Performance. With 4 laps between himself and a crown jewel victory on the heels of his 3rd Motordrome career championship in 2009. Bobby Henry continues to inch away at that lead from 2nd position, but he will need a caution or a miracle. 3 laps to go. That time it looked like Catone increased the interval. 2 laps to go, the signal given by Chief Starter Denny Carson. The Steel City 100 winding down. The driver from McKeesport, Pennsylvania, started in dirt track super compacts, moved on to 4 cylinders on asphalt, where he and his brother were champion racers, traveling the country with the ARCA Pro 4 Series, then on to the super late models, where Catone traveled nationally with the Iceman Series, won a Jennerstown track championship, 3 Motordrome track championships, now in heavy lap traffic. Mark Catone will win the Steel City 100 over Bobby Henry. Coming home in third spot, Neil Brown. In fourth, Gary Wiltrout. And another top 5 finish. Coming out of turn 4 in car 1 will be Steve Black. Mark Catone, you are known as the smart, smooth, conservative race car driver, and all the moves you made tonight were right at the beginning of this 100-lap affair. That car had to feel really good on a slick surface like this for you to make those moves early.
I tell you what, got to thank the crew, super job, fans, Subway, MC Quality Cars, Visnick's Launch Creations, Auto Express, Mama Papina's, Beams Auto Service, Baker Race Cars, Mom, Dad, crew, Lloyd Graphics, everybody involved with our program, all the fans, really like to thank their support. Got to thank Lasky, all the competitors, everybody's driving really good. Competition's really tough. We worked on the car, we made some changes, we made it better, and we was real happy with it. And again, the competition here is just spectacular. All these guys are good racers. We love racing with them. Again, got to thank Subway, everybody involved with our program, the fans, really appreciate it.
You are a really happy winner right now, I could tell. Hey, you said you made some changes to the car. Are those the kind of changes that will work for a 50-lap feature in the coming weeks, or does this car have to go back to a different setup for the shorter races?
It was pretty good the whole time once we made the changes, because it was a little tight for hot laps and qualifying, and we sort of went pretty radical with it to free it up, and it stayed consistent. We'll get a look at the tires, and the car was balanced real good. Again, the crew did a super job. Everybody, just got to thank everybody, really appreciate it. And again, got to thank the fans and keep coming out. We really appreciate it.
One last question, because there was a change just pointed out to me by a very astute race fan. What happened to that for sale sign? Is this car running so good it's no longer on the market?
Well, everything's for sale, but luckily we picked up Beams Auto Service for tonight, along with some other help from Baker's Race Car and Gary and Debbie Horner, and they help us out. And Mama Papina's, I tell you what, if you want some good pizza, Mama Papina's, they help us out with some great pizza. We really love it. And again, got to thank everybody, and Protex Coatings and Lloyd Graphics. Without all the help and all the support and all the fans and everything, this wouldn't be possible.
It's possible tonight in a big way. Mark Catone in victory lane after the Crown Jewel Steel City 100.